Happy April Fool's Day. It's a good day to be a fool. Today's thought is one of the perspectives that I've used to enrich my way of seeing the world has been to take into accountability the fact that no matter how hard we try to understand one another, to tolerate one another, to have empathy, to put ourselves in the other's shoes, or no matter how many machines we create that can scan brains, understand behavior, no matter how many models of human behavior we create, or how many psychology books we write, still, at least up to this point, there has never ever been a way for you to put yourself into someone else's mind. And even if you could, if you still had your mind, then it wouldn't be their mind. And that seems obvious, but it has a lot of deep meaning behind it, because what that's saying to me, and this is why, the reason why I mention it is because it stuck with me. It's something I heard somebody say once, and I was like, okay, that's, yeah, of course, duh, that's obvious. Yeah, you can't put yourself in other people's shoes, but you can try to have empathy, but you will never know what it really feels like to be another person, nor understand the justifications for a person's behavior or the things that they choose to believe. Once in a while you can say, oh, I've been there, and I kind of know what it was like when I was there at that point. But when you tell somebody, been there, done that, you're only talking about yourself still. And there's just so many implications in that, because I think the more the world begins to understand this concept, the more we can learn how to rephrase our comments and discussions with one another to where they're not threatening and derogatory. For example, having a discussion about say, spirituality with someone, and to have a discussion and say, well, this is what I think, and they say, well, this is what I think, and you both can have a rational discussion and say, okay, that's interesting. But when people feel threatened inside, they might start putting out derogatory comments, something like, well, that's not true, or, well, you just haven't seen the truth yet, or, well, I've been where you're at, and I understand, and I guess you see it enough times and you start to think, well, no, nobody's really been where I'm at, and nobody will ever be where I'm at. But at the same time, I understand that everyone has similar interests and similar things that happen in their lives. So when one gets in a car accident, and then they suffer through rehab for, say, a year or two, and then another person gets in a car accident, and first person's like, yeah, I know how it is. I was there. I've been, through rehab and whatnot. Of course they have, but it's a completely different situation. Just like when you're broke, just like what you consider your God or your spirit or your life, they're all in the eye of the beholder. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there for each one of you and me to remind ourselves that we can never be the eyes of another, only ourselves, and we really have to live our lives according to that, and try to express to people in the most constructive ways the things we're trying to express, without seeming condescending, as if this person's, say, on a lower plane than us, or they haven't gotten to the point where we are. Because each one of these people that you may think, well, they're just starting to see the light, say a person who's really high spiritual maturity in their early 30s or 20s or whatever, and then they see some 70-year-old that just realized that there was meaning to life, and the kid's like, oh, I've been there, done that, I've already seen that. Of course, there's a lot of things that the older person has experienced that the kid hasn't been through yet. So, by saying that, I just mean that we can learn from each other, no matter how ignorant a person may seem, or no matter how unaware of the things you're discussing a person may seem. There's always going to be a perspective that they can help you with, and I've found that through many, many discussions, conversations, and differences of opinion with friends and family and just acquaintances. Over what works and what doesn't. And I think listening with an open heart and an open mind to each person, and not trying to seem like you're ahead of the game on them, is the best way, because we're all at the same place. We're always all at the same place, right here, right now. So, much love.